Verona, a beautiful city in Italy, was home to two feuding families, the Montagues and the Capulets. They hated each other with a passion, and their rivalry constantly erupted into brawls in the streets. Romeo, a young Montague, was more interested in love than fighting. He was deeply saddened because Rosaline, the girl he admired, didn't return his affections. Little did he know his heart was about to be captured by someone else entirely. One night, the Capulets threw a grand masquerade ball. Romeo, disguised in a mask, snuck into the party, hoping to forget his woes. His eyes fell upon Juliet, the daughter of Lord Capulet.
They danced and talked all night, completely smitten with each other. In the moonlit balcony scene, they confessed their love, unaware of the danger that awaited them.
Romeo and Juliet couldn't bear to be apart, even though their families were enemies. They confided in Friar Lawrence, a kind and wise man.
He agreed to marry them in secret, hoping their love would bridge the gap between their families.
With the help of Juliet's nurse, the wedding took place quickly. It was a moment of pure joy for the young lovers, but their happiness was short-lived. Tybalt, a fiery Capulet and Juliet's cousin, encountered Romeo and Mercutio, Romeo's witty friend. A duel erupted, fueled by years of hatred.
Romeo tried to intervene, but in the chaos, Tybalt fatally wounded Mercutio.
Blinded by grief and rage at his friend's death, Romeo challenged Tybalt and killed him. This act of vengeance had dire consequences, sealing Romeo's fate. The Prince of Verona, weary of the bloodshed, banished Romeo from the city for killing Tybalt.
Leaving Juliet was an unbearable thought for Romeo, but he had no choice but to obey.
Romeo spent a night of despair with Juliet, clinging to stolen moments before the harsh reality of separation set in. Meanwhile, Juliet's father, unaware of her secret marriage, arranged for her to marry Paris, a wealthy nobleman.
I was horrified. I couldn't bear the thought of marrying anyone but Romeo.
Desperate, Juliet sought help from Friar Lawrence.
I gave her a potion that would make her appear dead. The plan was for Romeo to arrive as she awoke and take her away.
Friar Lawrence sent a letter to Romeo explaining the plan and Juliet's fake death.
However, due to an outbreak of plague, the letter never reached Romeo.
He only received the news of Juliet's supposed death.
Romeo was heartbroken. He couldn't imagine a life without me.
He returned to Verona, determined to be reunited with his love, even in death. Romeo arrived at the Capulet tomb and found Juliet seemingly lifeless.
He kissed me one last time and drank a deadly poison.
Juliet awoke to find Romeo dead by her side. She realized the tragic miscommunication and took her own life with Romeo's dagger.
The sight of our lifeless bodies united in death shocked both the Montagues and the Capulets.
The depth of Romeo and Juliet's love, a love that led them to their graves, finally broke the cycle of hatred. The tragedy of Romeo and Juliet serves as a timeless reminder of the destructive power of hate and prejudice. Their love story, though ending in sorrow, ultimately triumphs as it forces their families to confront the consequences of their feud. Romeo and Juliet's story reminds us that love knows no boundaries, and that hate only breeds more suffering. It is a tale that continues to resonate with audiences centuries later, reminding us of the importance of understanding, forgiveness, and above all, love.